Good morning, good morning, good morning, Black people. I'm bringing to you another morning minute. I am almost halfway through my walk and just thought I'd come on and talk really quickly about this one particular, what do we want to call it, virtue that everyone must have when you come to Africa, whether it's for a visit or to live. Okay, all you Black unicorns, welcome, welcome. Hope you guys can catch the replay. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where in the world you are. And that virtue that I'm talking about is patience. You have to have an abundance of patience to survive here. Because if you don't, good morning, y'all. If you don't, you won't last. And if you try to bring with you, good morning, good morning. If you try to bring with you that same attitude and constant demands here to Ghana, you're going to have a horrible experience from the time you get here to the hot time you leave. I've seen this with my own family. I've seen it with other diasporans that come here. But the moment you step in the airport, I know I talked about this before, but I just need to reiterate it because nothing here works like it does where you're used to. And something that should take 5 minutes to do, like an example would be, you're going through customs at the airport and they look at your documentation and everything's there. In your opinion, everything's there. But they feel as if something's missing or don't know where to find it. And because of that, they make you wait. They take you to a different section. You have to wait it out. It could be 10 minutes. It could be 5 hours. You can't do anything about that because you're entering into someone else's country, even though some of you feel extraordinarily entitled. That could take other people who are patient and polite and just chilled. Their wait, they go through the same thing. Their wait will be less than 10 minutes because the person who's working with them likes that they're having conversation with them and will let them just go. But the moment you start putting up an attitude and yelling and acting belligerent, and yeah, a lot of y'all act belligerent, and trying to talk to them as if they don't speak English. Don't get me wrong, the English be choppy as hell for many, but they still speak English. So it's kind of like, instead of just speaking more clearly, y'all be yelling, just like a lot of y'all do when y'all be talking to Spanish people in the States and y'all be thinking that they can't speak English and y'all start yelling as if yelling is going to make someone hear you better. Don't worry, Americans, you're not the only one who do this. The Germans would do that shit to me all the time, and I would just be like, yelling at me does not make me understand you better. I don't understand you if you're speaking German to me. Sorry. So I think the people in the West, period, do this stupid shit. Patience, people, patience. Making a purchase. You want to buy a car outright cash, whether it's from a private seller or from a dealership. Let's just go to dealership. You got the cash ready to either do a bank transfer, or hell, just give them cash out of pocket. A transaction that shouldn't take more than a few hours. Let's give it 4 hours from the time you get there, look at the car, talk about the car, get it checked with a mechanic. That too is going to take you a whole fucking day. Just all this different shit. And then you get to the part where you want to buy the car and get the insurance and stuff. This is something that should only take a few hours. It can take days, not hours, people, not hours, days. You don't believe me? Ask people who buy cars here. These plantain and rainbow motherfuckers on YouTube are going to tell you, oh, everything is so easy. Just skip in there and you'll be fine. They never tell you truth. Y'all love watching couples and they lie too. Sorry, but it is what it is. people will say and do anything for these subscribers and for the little money that they get, which is going to be stopping soon anyway, so it doesn't matter. But for me, I'm building businesses. So for me, YouTube is not my job. I don't make any money off of YouTube. YouTube is pennies compared to, the ability to make real money. So I don't count that. So that's why I'm going to tell the truth anyway, because that's just in my nature. But that's why I also just make sure I have to reiterate these things, because I've watched these videos about buying cars. I've seen what these foreigners who have one Ghanaian parent living here with their foreign husbands and their group little videos be saying, and it's grade A bullshit. They color code it and simplify it in a way that's not realistic. Why am I saying this? Just trying to give you examples of the way you need to have patience. If you don't have patience, that same car you're trying to get that's taking you days to actually get, even though you made the payment, they will strip that bitch. They will take things out of it, put bad stuff in it so that you constantly are coming back to get it fixed. Much like what they do to you in the States, certain mechanics, right? So, so keep that in mind. Getting an apartment, renting a house, renting an apartment, renting a house also takes a long period of time. You can't just come here and say, well, I have the money. I should be able to have a place in 2 weeks. You need to be able to take me to see this many places every single day. Boom, 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 boom. Well, number one, we ain't doing that shit. So I'm gonna let you know that right now. Number two, you have to know and understand who the fuck owns that place. Because the hustle here is extraordinary. And you think that you talking to someone who actually owns the place, talking to someone who actually can rent it to you, give you a tenancy agreement, take your money, you go back to move in, the real owner's there and like, who the hell are you? Your money's gone. That shit happens a lot. And that's because people want to rush. This is not America. This is not the West, period. So if you don't have enough patience to take a couple months to find a place, because it's going to take you a minimum of 30 days to find a place, period. Unless you know somebody that has a place already set up for you, then that's different. And you have no standards, then that's different too. Because, some places you can find real quick, but, it's hella ratchet, and that's it. And then lastly, honestly, you guys, you have to have patience in every single thing you do here. And when I say patience, you'll hear them say a term, exercise patience, please just exercise patience. And because most of you are coming from places that everything is done very quickly, and you can just order something online and it's given to you a matter of minutes or less than a day, and when you buy something, you can go to a store, buy something like Value City or something, or Rooms to Go, whatever, depending on where you are in the country, and you buy furniture, you arrange to have it delivered. They show up within that time or time frame they're supposed to show up. Here, hit or miss. They may show up, they may not show up. Seriously, hit or miss. So it's just kind of okay, all right, whew. What do I do now? How do I do this, right? You have to have patience with every single thing. Literally just walking around, shopping. There's no such thing as social distancing. I know that's a thing because of COVID. I know they tried to implement that here, but this is a cultural thing for Africa, period. This has nothing to do with Ghana right now. Africa, period. People are very touchy, in my opinion. I just call it touchy. They'll just stand up on your butt in line, or they'll stand right next to you, or they're right over your shoulder. It's like this closeness is just absolutely normal. So get over it, because nobody cares whether or not it makes you uncomfortable, which is why trolls, I'd be freaking out unless I'm in the front seat. It's just too much. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, so I'm trying to give you everyday patience, and then I'm trying to explain to you big things that you need patience for. But I try to break it down for you all so that you have a realistic sense. And you can't come here with so much arrogance in you, thinking that you can change processes, you can change the way people interact. I want to go that way. I want to go this way. You can change the way people interact doing business. You can change how things work here. I have said this over and over again, and I'm going to say it again on this video. You cannot change culture. And business processes or business culture is part of that overall culture. Every country has a way in which they do business based on the culture that they come from. And that is no different in any African country, especially Ghana, because of course I'm talking about Ghana right now. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm well, how are you? At the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, what is it called? Cobra?
I'll teach you.
You teach me?
Addition.
Okay.
My sister too is here.
Okay. Good morning, sister. Good morning.
He can teach you addition.
Okay. All right.
It's a bit more than me.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Bye. So I'm really tired today, and I can't even remember the phrases that I know in Tree. Completely forgot. I'm struggling to do this walk, but I wanted to give you this morning minute and help you to understand patience. And when you come here, and if you decide to live here, get out, walk around, get out, talk to your neighbors. Even if your neighbors don't live the way you do, they are still human. They are still people. They are still Ghanaians, and they still live in the community. But the more important thing is they're watching everything. So if some shit go down, they'll be the first people that'll help you and the first people that knows what's going on, even though in your eyes you see them as living in a shack or something. Just, that bougie, uppity bullshit that most people have when they come here, y'all need to start shaking that before you get here, because it's going to be a constant struggle, seriously. And then the last thing I want to talk about is buying of property, buying of land. I've said a few things to y'all in the past, but I don't know if people really get it. So I hope you do your own research before you're buying apartments or before you're buying townhomes or duplexes or anything in which the land is shared with someone else. Because at the end of the day, all this shit that you're paying crazy amount of money for in dollars, because you're definitely paying at least $50,000 or more for it. Who owns the land? There are no laws to specify things like apartments and townhomes and all that in Ghana. None that protects your right as a homeowner in that type of shared environment, in case you didn't know. So there are plenty of laws, and a new one in particular that has, okay, fine, good. There's a lot of laws out there for the protection of land now and buying of land. There's been laws on the books for buying property, residential and commercial, but there's nothing specific about who owns that townhouse or that apartment. And why do I say this? Because you can have a situation where the developer who brought that was bankrupt, or the traditional leaders have been fighting this fool for 20, 30 years, and the courts finally rule with them and say, oh, well, the traditional rulers own the land, you don't. So relinquish it. What happens then when they tell you to either pay a new price to stay on the land or get off? Y'all need to think about this. This is why I keep telling y'all, buy your own land that you have true title to, and then you can build on that, and you'll own it for that specified number of years that's in your leasehold. But this is what I'd say about patience. Most of y'all don't have any patience. You just want to come here, drop a bunch of cash, not thinking about the long-term consequences. So y'all keep doing that dumb shit and see how it work out for you. Those of you who got the sense God gave you, I put out there what we got, and I'm gonna have to edit another one for good morning, for some more plots. But patience is everything. So you can't work with us if you don't have any patience, because the land buying process here can take I just say 8 months to a year. If it's faster than that, then that's a godsend. 8 months to the year is what you aim for when you're trying to buy land. And I'm not talking about any ridiculous free shit at all. So patience and abundance, Black people, patience and abundance. You have to have that when you come here. Good morning.
Good morning.
You have to have that when you come here, or you're going to struggle, and be complaining all the time. And I know some of y'all feel like I'm complaining, but I'm not. I'm just sharing with you reality. So when you get here, you can have a more enjoyable time, understand how different things are, and adjust yourself. So thank you guys for joining in my morning minute. I told you it was going to be quick. I'm struggling to finish off this walk, so I'm going to go ahead and get my mind right and speed up. Thanks guys for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Bye.